The Empress of Ireland is often referred to as Canada's Titanic, but have you heard about it? When the Empress of Ireland slipped beneath the St. Lawrence River in the early morning gloom of May 29, 1914, she took with her 1,012 souls in just 14 minutes. Survivors clung to wreckage in total darkness. The Storstad would become their unlikely lifeline. Despite her own damaged bow and a stunned crew, Storstad's men scrambled to deploy lifeboats and drag as many survivors as possible from the frigid current. Their efforts, though swift and sincere, could not match the speed of the sinking. Of the 1,477 aboard the Empress, only 465 lived to tell of it. Among the rescued was Captain Henry George Kendall, thrown from the bridge into the river and nearly dragged under with the ship. He clung to a wooden grate until pulled into lifeboat number 3. Once aboard, he resumed command, aiding in the rescue of over 60 people from the water. Lifeboats ferried survivors back and forth between Storstad and the wreck site.
It's a very emotional thing. It's something that was very important to my great-grandfather. Even on his deathbed, he was reliving the events that happened that day. He always felt that he should have gone down with his ship and had nightmares about it all his life.
On shore, the distress signal, brief though it was received. The steamers Eureka and Lady Evelyn responded swiftly. Eureka arrived first at 3:10 a.m., rescuing around 150 survivors. Lady Evelyn followed shortly after, collecting the 200 brought aboard Storstad, along with 133 recovered bodies. On board, Dr. Grant, a passenger rescued by Storstad, treated the injured tirelessly. Survivors were housed and tended to in nearby Rimouski. Many stories emerged from that morning. William Sampson, pulled from the engine room by the ship's butcher. Grace Hannigan lost both parents, but would survive by clinging onto wreckage. However, countless others would never make it.
I thought that I was with my mother and father. The three of us, I thought, landed in the water together. And it seemed like I was my father was floating and I was on top of him. And then I was there on this wreckage alone. And I could see a couple of lifeboats. And I remember calling help. And one came over and I got in.
Take your time.
The first thing I wanted was my mother. And they, of course, tried to calm me down. When my mother wasn't there, I remember I really didn't want to stay in the boat because if she wasn't there, I didn't want to be there.
When did you really know that your parents were dead?
I realized my father was because I saw him at the undertaker's, but my mother's body was never found. And I just couldn't accept it. I've had it for probably over a year that she was really gone. I used to think, going along the street, that I might run into her.